watching the detective.
Right, talking today with Jeff Spry, Whyalla Basketball Association President. Jeff, what can you tell us so that we get to know you a little bit better?
I'm a Whyalla local. I was born and bred in Whyalla, born in 1971, so 45 years old now. Grew up, went to Long Street Primary School as a youngster and then at Whyalla High. So, worked in the local community for about 10 years before joining the police force in 1999. Been involved in most sports around Whyalla, played footy, cricket, basketball, swimming. So yeah, that's pretty much me growing up. So I started playing as a junior. I certainly didn't set the world on fire, that's for certain. I played 1 year of combined basketball. We went down to Adelaide and that team was Robert Pyman that went on to play AFL footy for North Melbourne and Collingwood. Chris Hanarakis was in that team. It was Steve Dunn.
Right.
So I was very much the 8th player in that side, playing in the old Forestville Stadium and that sort of thing. So that was a good experience for the year, but yeah, as I said, pretty ordinary player by and large. So I started out with Magpies many years ago. Training was on the old Peter Street courts. I remember the stadium here as having a couple of asphalt courts out on the western side, and the junior courts ran across here, ran across court 1. So I played for Magpies at the very start, and then went to Spartans when Barb Fleming was involved with the Spartans, and probably played all my junior sort of career through the Spartans. So probably left basketball as I got a little bit older as a teenager. Returned back to it probably in the late 90s when I started playing for the Sharks. Right. And then kept going from there, so through to about 2014. Like anyone growing up in basketball in Whyalla, you always looked at the Darren Quinns and Chris Hanarakis going over to America and playing that sort of thing, so they were always, I wouldn't say they influenced me, but it was certainly good to see the local lads sort of get some success outside of Whyalla. I organised to get a police team back in the late 90s. There was no copper team as such, like East Whyalla Sharks was still in existence and that sort of thing. And we didn't have a team, so I organised a couple of men's teams and a women's team to rejoin the league. It was always good. There was a fair bit of banter at the station when the two copper teams were going to play each other, so I'd make sure I'd send an email to the opposition just to let them know that they were going to pants them and that sort of thing. So I think the other teams enjoyed playing against the Coppers. There was always a bit of rivalry and that sort of thing, which we love to enjoy, and that bit of community engagement.
Okay, good. Okay, so last year you nominated for the position of president of the Whyalla Basketball Association. What motivated that?
I've been on the committee with the Basketball Association for about 4 years prior. Laurie and Helen had done a great job as president and secretary, and also Heather Laggard, who was doing a great job as a treasurer. So on that front, the association was doing well. When Laurie made it known he was going to step down, the original plan was I thought Hoffy would take the natural step and become president. And I'd spoken to him about that and said, well, I'll nominate for vice president if you want to go for president. He could see a bit of a conflict with being the president of Demons. I think his wife Kylie at home wasn't too keen on that idea. He already devotes so many hours and time here at Whyalla Basketball. So I said, well, I'll stand for it. I've never been one to sit back and whinge if there's something to be done. I'd rather get in and be part of it rather than sit in the background and have a bit of a whinge about it. So I threw my name forward and was voted in. Well, the biggest challenges, I suppose, is linked to the town itself. Obviously, Whyalla's going through an economic downturn and that sort of thing, and what happens out on Port Augusta Road has a massive influence on not only Whyalla Basketball but the whole town in total. So our biggest challenge, I suppose, is to maintain the highest participation rate of any sport in the town. we seem to have weathered that pretty well so far. We had a couple more teams on top of last year's summer registrations at the recent nomination night, so that's really pleasing to see.
That's encouraging.
So our main challenge ahead is just maintaining that participation rate.
Okay.
There's been some people that talk about us being able to put a fourth quarter on or that sort of thing, and that's something that if we continue to grow the rate that we are, is certainly something that we should look at. I would love us to maintain the participation rate that we do now. I think having kids involved in sport is probably the best thing in the world. It teaches them a great deal of discipline and everything else. So from an association point of view, it's about making sure our stadium facilities are at one of the highest rates. Just on the floors, the air conditioners and that sort of thing. New roof on. So if we can maintain the facilities to a high standard, that draws people in not only to watch but come out and not only and to play. So that's probably our biggest challenge is to maintain that level to attract people. Well, my measure of success is pretty hard to quantify, really. It's a number of fronts. If I can walk out here in a competition night and I don't get swamped as I walk in the door because people are having complaints, then that's a success. Success for myself is that we do have an equal competition across all levels, and it just flows. If you're getting things right, they flow without too much work. It's when you know when you're having to do a lot of work, something's not quite right because it's not just running along like a well-oiled machine. So in that regard, I measure success as to how well the association flows along with minimal involvement.
And probably one of the indications of that would be people re-registering. So that is a reasonable measure.
Yep.
People find it unpleasant and frustrating, they won't come back.
And they'll make. We understand that in line with what's happening out on Augusta Road, and times are a bit tougher. People have to fork out their money to register and that sort of thing. So if they're not enjoying it, then they can certainly find other ways to spend their money.
Okay. So on other basketball matters, the NBL seasons have just started around the country. Do you follow any teams in these leagues?
Certainly, I'm certainly very loyal South Australian, so I follow the two SA teams.
Very good.
We're heading down to Adelaide in a couple of weeks' time to see the 36ers go around. So.
Okay. Do you have an AFL team then? Must be one of the South Australian teams.
Most certainly, it's the Crows.
Oh, very good. And
avid Crows supporter, avid Crows hater. Avid sport hater.
Okay, so NRL might be an inappropriate waste of time question. Do you have an interest in that?
Panthers.
Okay, yep. Any other sport that you have an interest in, passionate interest you follow?
I love sport. If you ask my wife, she hates the fact that if there's sport on, I'll watch it. So I love cricket, I love footy.
If you could be any other sports person in the world, in any time in history, who would it have been?
My wife's going to kill me, but I'd say right now probably Luke Hodge, the captain of Hawthorn.
Okay.
I love the way he, hard as nails, puts his body before everything, and he's just a great team leader. The way he goes about it and that sort of thing. As much as I love the Crows being Hawthorn, and it doesn't happen all that often. He's him and I suppose Joel Selwood from Geelong Cats are two players that I follow closely.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Jeff, and thank you for what you're doing for Whyalla Basketball.
No worries, thank you.
She's watching the detectives. Ooh, he's so cute. She's watching the detectives.